The Packers have played their 4 quarters. Now it's time for the 5th quarter.
That one hurt. I mean, a rainy, lousy day, and oh, man, they had opportunities, but the first start for Brett Hundley goes down. The Packers fall to the Saints 26-17. Tons of things to talk about from that ball game. Was it Hundley? Was it the play calling? Was it the game plan? Was it the defense? Was it the rain? Was it Drew Brees? It was all of the above. So we got a lot of ground to cover tonight. Glad you are with us tonight. We are going to have a lot of fun with one of my favorites on the Packers defensive line. Dean Lowry is going to be our guest tonight. Alongside, as usual, Matt Z. Hello, Matthew.
Hello.
You know, down in New Orleans, I spent a lot of time there. My daughter went to medical school down there, so I played plenty of visits to the Big Easy. And at funerals, they play a lot of music. I don't hear any music. That's good.
Okay. I was like, wait. The season's over already?
No,
that can't be
many,
right.
Holy cow.
I know.
Twitter universe went crazy today.
Yeah.
And the blame game is starting. And, it's just... All right, let's try 2 weeks preparation and see what happens with Brett Hundley. All right, we did the 1 week. He's got a full week of preparation, and his passer rating skyrocketed, folks. He went from 39.6 against Minnesota with the 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions, all the way up to 39.9 yesterday. 12 completions and 1 pick.
So by the end of the year, he's in the 50s?
That would be nice.
That's what you're
Actually,
hoping
he is
for?
above 40 for the season. I don't know how that happened, but nonetheless. Yeah, it was a tough day for Brett, and I thought going in all last week, he wasn't going to do anything that would cost them the game, and I don't think he did.
Right.
It was all of the other ancillary parts that had to do their job, at least at a competent level, and it would take care of itself. And the first 15, I'm not talking about McCarthy's script, I'm talking about the first 15 minutes, that's what happened. The run game was there. Aaron Jones, this kid is going to be a lot of fun. We might have to get him back this year. For $131
every week, if that's what he's going to do after he's a guest.
That was there. The takeaways were there. Drew forced 2 bad balls, but nonetheless, hey, Demarius Randall didn't need a tip to catch that one. A great play. Devon House, excellent sideline interception. And it's a 14-7 game at the half, and I'm thinking, that's the formula. But something happened at intermission, and I don't know what it was, but there were a couple of guys who came up to me after the game and thought there was a considerable drop in energy. One on offense and one on defense told me that, and I'm what?
Yeah, I heard that from Kenny Clark as well, and I was shaking my head, the drop in energy, because you would think the energy would have just increased because you played such a good first half.
We've got a lead, and even
turnovers?
It was at 17-16.
Yeah.
Let's get a stop. Defense couldn't do it. Saints 4 possessions, 4 scores in the second half until they, did the 4-minute thing and ran it out, taking knees at the end.
Yeah, just couldn't get off the
very
field in the
disappointing
second
there.
half.
But then again, look, there's Brady, there's Rodgers, there's Breeze. Okay, it's a short list of really, really good quarterbacks in this league, and he has been for a long time. He's played the Packers 7 times. He's gone over 300 yards every single time against good defenses, bad defenses, indifferent defenses. He's good. Sean Payton, excellent offensive mind. He's good. In fact, he was this close to being here instead of McCarthy back in the day. So,
and the Saints have gotten better in their last few weeks. That offense is starting to get better. Their defense is starting to get better. They're a team that's rising.
But it's still young and inexperienced on the perimeter outside in their secondary, and yet the Packers just could. We'll get to the bottom of why they couldn't get anything going on offense, as we'll hear from the locker room quotes and everything else, too. But one thing Mike McCarthy said today that I hadn't heard until today, they spent all week preparing for Balaga not to be able to play and Lane Taylor to come back and play, so they put up all this protection plans and calls and everything, assuming that. And then on Friday, it was Balaga's in and Taylor's out, completely flipped it around. Protection started to wear down. Hundley didn't have enough time in the pocket to, again, process the speed at which he has to play. Aaron Rodgers is second nature.
Right.
Not there. I see this safety there. I'm going here. I'm going here. I'm going there. But it's lightning fast, and the ball gets there usually pretty accurately. Brett is still in the process of processing all of that information.
Yeah.
And that will only come with more snaps. And, hell, they had only 50 snaps offensively in that game, a number way below their anticipated rate. and it just never got going. Tough loss.
Yeah, he's been on the team for a few years, but he doesn't have a few years of starting experience. I mean, we never expect rookies to jump in and just be fantastic from the get-go. You need full-speed NFL experience.
Deshaun Watson's
doing
it?
Yes, but Deshaun Watson is a unique talent.
Well,
I mean, he is. There are different levels. The guy's a Heisman winner. There are different levels of rookies. There's a reason.
Huntley was Pop Warner MVP in
Pop
Los
Warner
Angeles.
MVP.
All right,
You're right.
No, all right, but
no, he tore things up in middle school. You're right.
So McCarthy was telling us, I'm not worried at all. I got 3 years invested in this guy. Don't even bring up a veteran quarterback to come in here with Rodgers down. And so with that kind of investment, the return was a playbook this thick.
Yeah, and it's going to expand.
Instead of a playbook that should be that thick.
Yeah.
That confused me a little bit, but. Again, we're really diving into topics I want to cover all night long, so we got a lot of ground to cover, as I said. 26-17. Stop on by. Make sure you get registered for some door prizes. We got some great stuff to give away, and it's the bye week, so that means a Packer Pro Shop gift card from our friends at Robinson Heating and Cooling. So 26-17, the final. Let's head to the locker rooms from Lambeau on that rainy day, and head coach Mike McCarthy summed it up this way.
Well, that was a disappointing home loss. Obviously, the focus is to win every week, especially at home. I'm particularly disgusted with the second half. I mean, and that's something you have to take a hard look at, and as you do each and every week. But as a head coach, when your team doesn't perform and drops off the way it did in the second half, disappointed.
Disgusted, disappointed. A couple of good D words. I've got a few others. Damn. That's another one. Saints coach Sean Payton's team has now won 4 in a row.
It's not time to come up with any summaries yet. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, and very easily, could have lost a game like this with some of the mistakes. But, there's a little bit of resiliency that I'm proud of, and I thought they're fighting, especially, in the second half of this game.
And while there's no reason to, write a summary for Sean, there's no reason to write the epitaph or obituary yet for the Packers.
No.
So let's just stay calm, everybody.
Give it time.
Like I said, with a full week to get Brett Hundley ready, though, it was still a close to the vest game plan that wasn't good enough.
I obviously did not play good enough today. And, obviously, it's a first start. Offense probably a little different, but at the same time, we still have to execute. And that's the name of the game. We got to put points on the board, especially when we're playing a big-time offense like New Orleans. We know we're going to have to score. And, unfortunately, we just didn't get it done today.
Didn't get it done. Nope. Wide receivers caught all of 6 passes for 54 yards. That's a go route for Jordy on a good day, right? 1 catch. Randall Cobb said in-game timing is going to be a work in progress.
It's tough. It's all about building chemistry with the quarterback. We've only had a week to do that. It's going to be important for us to continue to build confidence in him to throw to us in different situations. There were opportunities today. Jordy and Devontae got on top all day. There was a few inside as well. With myself, we just have to continue to build that chemistry with Brett.
Insinuations that guys were there. Guys were open.
Sure.
And Hundley just couldn't get off the target or read the defense fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers' offense thrives when you can push outside the numbers with Jordy, with Devontae, then work the guys underneath. You need all of those pieces working and give it to, it's baby steps.
Well, yeah.
We're expecting it to just not have a drop-off. There's going to be a drop-off and then hopefully just a gradual build back up.
Yeah. McCarthy said the in-pocket time clock was all messed up because of those protection problems that the Saints were presenting. Still, that game plan for McCarthy produced 12 completions, 79 net passing yards.
Well, our passing game, we can sit here and pick it apart all you want. So just let's just blame it on the head coach today, okay?
All right.
Simple enough.
Okay. All right. Blame the coach. But as I mentioned, the required ingredients beyond the quarterback play were there from the start, like Aaron Jones and the running game. 131 yards, including his game-opening 46-yard touchdown.
I felt like I performed well. Still some things I could correct, but overall I felt like I played to my potential.
I would think so.
He played really well. That was so much fun to see when we had him on the show. Just such a good kid, such a down-to-earth guy, does everything the right way. It was fun to see him have a lot of success.
And I saw the end zone camera shot of that touchdown run, expertly blocked.
Picture perfect.
And nobody laid a hand on him. And while the running game was there to help, so was the defense. Those takeaways, they got 2 in the first quarter, but Clay Matthews said it only started well.
I thought we got after them pretty well. Those 2 turnovers, Demarius and House, taking the ball away were huge, especially when it was in the end zone. One was dang near, getting in the end zone. So, fortunately, the second half, night and day. We obviously didn't uphold our end of the bargain and gave up way too many big plays. Just simple mistakes that they took advantage of when you have guys like their quarterback and running back. So it was just, too much.
He had 485 yards too much from the Saints offense. Scored points on 4 possessions in a row in the second half. And here's what Drew Brees had to say.
Felt like we rushed the ball really well today. Felt like it was very balanced with the pass. We got some big plays in the passing game, and we also just executed the short passing game as well to keep drives alive. Time of possession was great. Typically that's indicative of your third down percentage, which we were over 50% there, and I think 36 minutes in the time of possession, which that'll win you a lot of football games.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, they had a 100-yard rusher in Mark Ingram, 100-yard receiver Ted Ginn, and Brees for 331. That's balance. Here's the Packers' balance from yesterday. 260 total yards. They had 130 on their 2 touchdown possessions, 138 on their other 8 possessions. Not the balance you're quite looking for, right?
No, not even close. The time of possession, obviously, in that second half, it was all Saints.
Oh, my God. Fourth quarter was like 12-2. Anyway, Clinton Dix said the effort just wasn't good enough.
Man, we got to play better. We just got to play better, man. We got to find a way to get off the field on third down. That hurt us a lot today, and we'll look at the film tomorrow, man, and figure out what we can work on to get better and go from there.
3rd and 17. Ouch. 3rd and 11. 3rd and 9 among the 58% they converted in that game. Now, as you heard, Mike said, just go ahead and blame me. He was quick to fall on the sword after that performance, but Brett Hundley said he doesn't have to.
You can't put that on Coach, That's something I take care of myself. And, the O-line blocked the butts off today. And, first start, it'll get better.
Better get better.
It's never one person's fault. I mean, there's so many plays in a game.
It's an ultimate team game. I understand all that. But, that was still doable. Fourth quarter lead, still doable.
No, they were there.
It would have been paid huge dividends. Now they really got to regroup and put the nose to the grindstone, and most everybody outside of our guest tonight blown out of town for a week, and I don't blame them. It's time to get away.
Oh, absolutely.
Recharge, and let's see what happens when they come back.
Hundley said after the game, everything's still in front of them, and it absolutely is. The Vikings, their offense is good one week. Defense has been solid. Bears, who knows what you're going to get. 14 points on defense, but their offense had, 4 completions?
Let's go right around the NFC.
Lions are up and down.
Philadelphia wins tonight. They're going to be in pretty good shape, but other than that, it's going to be all right.
Atlanta's down. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Well, it's still going to be tough without number 12. There's no question about
absolutely.
it. Had a surgery last Thursday, convalesced all weekend. I know he sent out the Instagram thing. Jason Wilde, my colleague on Cover 2, is tight with Aaron. He did text him. He says he wants to try and come back. And having the surgery as soon as possible will hopefully assist in the healing process. But it is 8 weeks minimum now on injured reserve. Can't practice until 6 weeks are done. 8 weeks gets you to, the Charlotte trip to Carolina, I think?
Yeah.
Right before Detroit or Minnesota, the rematch right before Christmas. Let's see what happens. If the Packers are out of it, we'll see you next year.
Right.
They're in it, like in 2013.
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? So we will see what happens. All right. So much for the locker room story. We got the story of Dean Lowry of the Packers defense coming up in just a couple of minutes. We are live from the Stadium View. We welcome our audience from Wausau and Sheboygan, and we welcome our sponsors every week, too. That is Robinson's Heating and Cooling, Nicolay National Bank, American Metal Roofs, and Diamonds and Gold. Quick note, you can follow the fifth quarter, whether here in the bar, on the radio, online, and we have a new way as well. With the Green and Gold Fan Zone Facebook page or the Fifth Quarter Show page where you can watch highlight clips, the entire show if you want. Paul is videotaping all of this right now. Listen to our podcast. All you have to do, the easiest way, text Fifth Quarter to 79489 and we'll send you right to that site right now. Podcasts of all the Fifth Quarter shows can be heard on iTunes and Stitcher as well.
Awesome.
And we're, of course, live from the Stadium View with a lot going on.
Yeah, this Friday, Alan Jackson and Leanne Womack, they're going to be at the Resch Center, 7:30. Pregame for that right here. Then on Saturday, it is their big Halloween party from 9 p.m. to close. You've got the Gambler game over at the Resch Center this weekend as well. For their Halloween party, they're giving away $2,000 in cash and prizes. Tons of fun all night long. They got a DJ starting at 9. Drink specials. It's going to be a great time.
Come dressed as Chuck, you're going to win, right?
Yes.
No question about it.
I-
All right.
I don't know why. You're a good-looking man, Chuck.
All right. Let's get rolling. We're going to take a timeout. Dean Lowry's next with the fifth quarter returns right after this.
Here are Mark Daniels and Matt Z.
All right, Packs fall to 4-3 with that loss to the Saints yesterday. Got the bye week, and the Kitty Cats are coming 2 weeks from tonight back at Lambeau Field. Let's see what happens as they regroup and come back, shall we? Here's a guy that we had on as a rookie last year, and he did a great job. Couldn't wait to get him back again this season. He only lives in Rockford, so he didn't have far to go on the bye week, so I knew he was going to hang around. Actually, he's going to the wrestling match a little bit later on, right up the street. But second-year pro out of Northwestern University. He has made a big jump from year 1 to year 2, a regular contributor, a starter on that defensive line. Please welcome back, everybody, Dean Lowry to the View. Hello, Dean. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Tough game. The talk all week was Hundley. What was the talk like in the locker room about Brett's big starting debut?
I thought Brett did good. I think they ran the ball very well offensively. I think Brett did some good things. Obviously, his first start, he's going to have some, I think, growing pains. But I think overall he did a very good job, and he got guys open, but I think it's about finishing games. I think overall as a team, we didn't do enough to win the game in the second half.
Yeah, you had some chances there. You know, we got back in front 17-16, really needed a stop. Dean, what is it about that Saints attack? A lot of screens, probably more than I think you anticipated. A lot of stuff, short, out horizontally, 10 yards across. Drew gets it into the playmaker's hands, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You know, I think going into the game, there are no surprises of how they would try and attack us, and that was through their running game and through screens and more of a play-action style game plan. So there was really no surprise Sunday, I think, at all in how they played us. I think it comes down to execution. I think the run game we had, I think overall did a good job. But, you know, obviously they had some big runs in there, which I think kind of makes their rushing yardage look as worse than it really was. But I think when it comes to those screens, we took some poor angles to get to the ball carrier, and I think overall it's just finishing plays, and I think that's overall from top to bottom as a defense.
That's what Don was saying this afternoon when we had our last visit with the coordinators before the break. He says he thought there were far more missed tackles in Minneapolis last week than there were yesterday against the Saints, but he said it was the angles of pursuit that kind of got a little out of sorts on some of those plays. You're in zone coverage behind the D-line, and the way they're coming down, it just wasn't quite the right fit.
Well, that's the whole defense, too. I think one of the biggest things that we really work on in practice is running to the ball in pursuit and finish. And I think the first part was their effort across the board, but I think as a D lineman, too, we got to have a better angle to get to the ball carrier, the running back or receiver to force cuts and to help out the guys out back. So that's really a whole defensive thing we have to improve on.
Nick Perry got the only sack of Drew Brees on 38 dropbacks. How hard is it to get to him when it comes out so quick?
It is tough. Yeah, that's really his thing, is get the ball out quick. He's a very smart quarterback, so he makes those reads really quick, so you can just tell on film just how well he knows his offense. But I think if you watch that play against Nick Perry, he just bull rushed that left tackle just right over. So anytime you have rushers like Nick and Clay, you got to get pressure up the middle, as we tried to do, but I think that can be improved as well.
You have become a big contributor on this defensive front this season. Dean, what did you do? How did the jump occur? Because I think you're going to be a player that's going to be in the mix here now for a long, long time.
I would say both is physically and mentally. I think I added about 7 to 8 pounds of good weight, good muscle weight, got more explosive, and had that full year of an NFL lifting program in the offseason. But also I think just a full year of OTAs and mini camp and then training camp of getting the playbook down, getting more reps out there, playing more of a D tackle role too. So I think the combination of those two things, and then also just confidence too. I think confidence is a huge part of this game and how well guys play this level. So I'm not really playing to where I want to be yet. I think, as most guys would say in the team, but I think I'm getting there.
Had a couple of TFLs, I think, yesterday, didn't you?
One TFL, yeah.
Yeah, one TFL. That was a nice one off on the edge.
Yeah,
I recall.
That was our first play the second half, so that was, I think, a big play in terms of trying to establish, a solid run defense. I think we had some good plays there, but weren't consistent enough.
That's right, yeah. Ingram off the right end, and Whammo, a loss of 2 for Dean Lowry. What's good weight? What's good 7-pound weight? I got 7 pounds of bad weight I put on, but
just simply muscle. I mean, a lot of guys will say, "Oh, I added 20 pounds in the off season," but 15 are fat or muscle. So
we're not talking Ryan Pickett here.
you got to keep your quickness too. That's the big part of gaining weight. So,
right.
So how do you do that in the off season? If you're going to put on bulk, what is your workout routine like during the week? How many days are you in the gym? How much is cardio, diet, all that sort of stuff?
I would usually lift about 4 days a week. Normal lifts like bench, squat, cleans, and then my diet was pretty much about 4 to 5 meals a day. Mostly, chicken breast, fish, steak, stuff like that. So I try to eat really clean as much as I can.
But you're a big guy. I mean, you're
about
like
5 squares a day.
You're about
right.
300 pounds?
Yeah, about 300 right now. Yeah.
About 300 right now. So how many calories do you need to put into your body on a daily basis?
I don't.
If you want to gain weight,
exactly. Yeah, it has to be like a surplus, of what you're used to gain weight. But I would say probably about 5,000 to 6,000 a day.
I wish.
I wish. How much chicken are you eating? How many chicken breasts then in a day?
Usually 1 to 2, no more
really?
than that. Yeah, but I mean, I'll have 1 chicken breast, like 1 steak, 1 fish, 1 salmon, a lot of eggs, PB&J thrown in there. So.
I could just see like Rocky cracking the eggs and mixing it up.
6,000 calories.
Yeah, really. But not only you, but a fellow draftee Kenny Clark this year. Dean is playing crazy.
I mean, the past 3 games, Kenny has been unblockable, honestly. And I think it started against Dallas, where he went against Travis Frederick, and I thought he won that matchup. And I think anytime you're a second-year guy, you go down there against one of the best in the NFL, and you hold your own and go beyond holding your own, I think it gives you confidence. The past 2 games, I mean, he's been one of the best in the NFL.
What was the talk in the film room when he got knocked to his knees and got back on his feet without putting his hands on the turf?
That just shows his effort right there, and that's something we always coach up and really work on. But I think his strength, and I think that showed his wrestling background too, his ability to have leverage and to stay with the play and make that tackle. So that's just one of the many plays he's made in the past few games.
That's for sure.
Speaking of wrestling, do we want to talk about this now? We want to talk about it after the break.
Let's go
why
now.
don't we save it till the break?
All right, we'll do it after the break.
Do a little wrestling talk after the break. One other thing about Clark, you were also involved in the play, and talking to Ron Zook today, he thought it was going to be the game-winning play, and that was the block PAT. You guys, I think you, Quentin Dial, and Kenny all got together and said, enough of this. Let's get it.
We've had good push all year in that kickoff or that block field goal team, so I think it finally came when Kenny blocked that kick, but even the past 3 to 4 games, we've had, I think, tremendous effort and tremendous pushback. We've been literally just inches close to blocking a kick. So Kenny finally got one, and that was great to see. It didn't determine the game, but I think going forward, we got to have that mentality that every kick can be blocked.
Yeah, something for teams to think about. And Dial is huge.
He's a big dude, yeah. I mean, he's got a lot of experience, too, playing on that 3-4 system in San Francisco. But, I mean, he's, as well, definitely a big, long, tall guy.
All right. We're going to put up chicken breasts on the order for Dean to get his 3rd meal of the afternoon.
Appreciate that.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little wrestling next door and more from Dean Lowry on the 5th quarter right after this timeout. All right, welcome back. Packers fall to the Saints. Bye week is here. 4-3 they stand. Dean Lowry, our guest tonight. Hey, it's time for our hot play of the day. You know how it works. Robinson's Heating and Cooling will give you a prize if you correctly guess the hot play of the day. You'll also be qualified for a grand prize drawing at the end of the regular season. That's a pair of indoor club seats to the Packers-Vikings rematch and an invitation to their tailgate party across the street. That's even better than the game. All right, Z, let's line them up.
Beth
they're
is
lining
up
up
first.
fast now. All right.
Beth, what's your guess?
Beth.
Brett Huntley's touchdown.
Ooh.
The what?
The Brett Hundley touchdown.
The
His
pinball
scramble
from
touchdown.
Brett Hundley. Nice. I liked it a lot. But that's not it.
He really liked the play, just not enough for you to win.
Yeah,
Beth.
yeah.
That's all.
Good to know he can handle himself out there because he took a shot, not from the first guy who lollipopped him with the shoulder, that number 20. the next guy behind him whacked him pretty good. All right.
What's your guess?
Narrows it down.
Hot way to start the first quarter. Aaron Jones touchdown.
Hot play of the day came awfully early from a rookie.
Single back offense, receivers left and right. Bennett, tight end, right side of the line. And handoff goes to Jones. Big haul up the middle to the 40, to the 30. He may go to the house, to the 10, to the 5. High stepping, end zone, touchdown, Packers. 46 yards for the rookie, Aaron Jones.
Wayne Larrabee on the call on the Packer Radio Network. Our guest from a couple of weeks back said, hey, all I had to do was run.
It was on a power play, and I just cut off on Marty and the pulling guard and just took it backside, and it was a wide open lane, and I went untouched.
Untouched, he goes. His third score of the season. Kid's putting up some numbers, folks. 346 yards to lead the team, averaging 5.6 a carry. Yeah, not bad. And he was at 13.9 yards a carry at that first 3rd and 1 after the interception. Yeah, and they didn't give it to him. Anyway, but Aaron Jones is our hot play of the day, and our winner again, Scotty. Congratulations. Dean Lowry, our guest. You've been chasing this kid at camp. When did you kind of see some moves out of Aaron Jones, Dean?
I would say training camp, honestly. Really? I think just his vision. He's also a very powerful back, too, for a guy his size as well. So I think defensively we were not surprised at all when we saw him go off in Dallas.
That could be a really important factor and helper for Brett Hundley moving forward, is to establish a ground game, a consistent ground game. But Dean, you're also saying it will help us on our side of the ball too.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's
I
get
think
that clock, that TOP switch around.
Yeah, I think defensively, anytime you have a good run game, it gives you time to make more adjustments in the sideline, to have more rest. So I think anytime you have a really good running back in your team, that's huge for your defense, just to rest up and to make adjustments.
Yeah, 36, 56, and 75 plays. That's a long day for you guys.
It is. I think Minnesota was even more tough, but I think Sunday, I think they did a good job of running the ball, and that has to be strength of our team with Aaron down for right now.
All right, Dean Lowry, our guest. All right, Z.
Let's do it.
Fire it up.
All right, so
coming up next, we've got
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw at the Resch.
Over at the Resch. Dean is going to the show. Now, are you a big wrestling fan?
Not a big fan, no. I follow it usually, but I'm not a huge wrestling fan.
Well, I think we've got a few in the back here, right?
Oh, yeah. Who was your favorite wrestler growing up?
I used to watch the tag team of John Michaels and D-Generation X. Those guys.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Triple H and was it Steve Michaels or John Michaels?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, that's right. Those are always the fun guys to watch. So
I go back to Hercules Cortez and Red Bastien. Nick Bockwinkel.
That was before my time, so I don't know.
No kidding.
I was a big Ricky the Dragon Steamboat guy.
Really?
And Junkyard Dog. JYD was my favorite.
Wow.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Andre the Giant. There you go. That was the old Minneapolis thing, right? Yeah.
Is there a chance you're going to be making an in-ring appearance tonight?
No,
so
not.
like a secret Dean Lowry run-in to break up some sort of a title match?
No chance of that tonight.
No chance of that?
No, come on. I heard you're going to jump in for the no referee, no time limit, cage match with nothing but chairs.
I want Brock Lesnar, though, if I do.
What about post-football career? Would you ever think about doing the wrestling thing?
It's funny because in the D-line, Mike Daniels he follows that stuff a lot.
I know he does.
He has some good friends, too, that are part of the tour, so he always says afterwards that, once our D-line's done playing, we're all going to join the WWE, and he gives us nicknames and stuff like that, so it's pretty funny.
What's the nickname he gave you?
He gave me the accountant, so that was
what he told me. You walk in with the briefcase, right?
So
bash somebody over the head with it. Actually, Mike has a teammate from Iowa who I think is on the circuit.
I'm not sure if he's there tonight, but his name is his stage name is Big E or Big Easy or something like that. So
Big E, sure.
Big E, yeah. He played at Iowa with them, so he's a big dude as well. So that's Mike Daniels' good friend.
And of course, Mike did wrestle, all the way
so
through
did Kenny in high school.
Yeah. So.
There are some former Packers players who were wrestlers.
Larry Fole, you remember him?
Lex Luger, right?
Lex Luger, yeah. Larry Fole played
1982.
guard here, the Bart Starr days, I think, early mid '80s for a while. Wore number 66. You don't remember him? P-F-O-H-L, Larry Fohl.
There was another guy in 2009. He goes by Mojo Rawley now. He's a big Rob Gronkowski fan.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Mojo Rawley. He was on the Packers in 2009. Undrafted, was cut at the end of training camp.
All right.
Yeah. And Roman Reigns, huge, obviously, WWE superstar, was on the Vikings for a little while, got cut. Yeah. So football, wrestling makes sense. Athletic, mobile.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
What is Mike Daniels' nickname? What did he nickname himself?
Something like along the lines of like his Dragon Ball Z. You know, he's really into that like comic stuff. So
yeah,
I forget what it was, but something.
Just hear you guys.
Something like with that, I forget.
I could see him as being the second Junkyard Dog. Like he's got that attitude.
Yeah.
And he just seems to be that kind of a guy.
Maybe, yeah.
All right. No collar elbow hookups here tonight.
The accountant. I like it.
I like the accountant. Dean Lowry, our guest tonight. So what are you going to do on the bye week?
Go back home to Rockford. I think just mentally recharge, get the body healthy and right. Watch film on Detroit and just relax. So that's just how I'll spend my bye week.
You and out of the 53, probably 47 others want to get their body right. This has been a really weird year with the personnel combinations. The offensive line hasn't started the preferred, same 5 in any of the 7 games so far. Defensive secondary has been crazy all year long. How tough has it been to kind of try and find that consistent level of play when you've got new players every week?
It's been very tough, but I think great teams find a way to get through that. And I think once we are healthy, I think that shows that we'll be at full strength and we'll be a tough team to deal with. But I think right now, as bye week comes at a very beneficial time for us to get healthy. And like I said, I think once we are finally healthy, we'll be a very, very dangerous team.
I think you only lost Jake Ryan to the migraines yesterday on your side. I know a couple other guys bounced in and out, so that's good news. And again, Montravius Adams ready to come along. I think it start helping out a little bit too. He's been a healthy scratch lately, but what are your thoughts on Montravius and his future?
He's a very athletic big man. I think I've been impressed with his pass rush. I think just he can really help us. I think getting after the quarterback. He's very quick for his size. Has good hips for a big man. So I think he'll be a great addition to our D line.
All right, we'll get him up soon enough. Zeep?
You are from Rockford, Illinois. Were you a Bear fan growing up?
Yes, I was.
Yes, he was.
Would you still say you're a Bears fan because it was your team growing up?
No, not even close. No.
So you can just turn that off once you get onto a different team?
It was turned off immediately when Ted Thompson called
really?
me.
It was just easy to shut that part of your heart down?
Honestly, yeah, it was.
Wow.
And the paychecks helped, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was kidding.
Yeah.
Money talks, especially for the accountant. That makes sense.
That's true.
Associated Bank paid to the order of Dean Lowry. Yes.
What about
that is my bank, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
What about baseball-wise? Were you a Cubs guy, a White Sox guy?
White Sox, actually. Yeah, White Sox. My parents are both from the South Side area, so I just followed what they did, and I'm a White Sox fan.
Happy for the Cubs when they got their World Series ring, or just...
I was happy for them, yeah. I think they have some good players, obviously like Chris Bryant, Rizzo. Those are guys that I used to love watching, and I went to college like right by that area, so we'd always go down there and hang out in that Wrigley area. So I think they have a good thing going. It was a tough loss last week, but they'll be back again, I think.
Yeah. Northwestern, just a short little ride from Evanston down to Wrigleyville.
Yep.
There's no question about that. Boylan High School in Rockford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boylan High School. I had a great experience there. Played football, basketball, baseball. We won 2 state championships. Actually,
I know
there.
that is a really powerhouse
cool.
athletic program.
Yeah, it was when I was there, but I think it's kind of went down a little bit.
Kind of dip.
Yeah, but they're still playing well. But that was cool. That was our first ever state championship for our city too. So that was a really cool experience for me in high school.
You mentioned baseball. You, Mike Daniels, some others were at Miller Park this summer.
Yeah.
Mike got to throw at the first pitch. What is your honest critique of his pitching abilities?
Wow, we're all over Daniels tonight.
I think he practiced for it, but I don't know if it really helped too much.
He lollipopped that
little
thing.
bit outside.
It was a solid pitch. The crowd was excited to see him. You got the crowd going, so that, as always, they love seeing Mike out. But I'd give it like a B- maybe.
B-.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever get a chance to throw out the first pitch? That'd be something you want to do?
That'd be cool, yeah. Hopefully. It's a beautiful stadium down there in Milwaukee, so I think you got to have a little bit better name recognition, though, and to get towards Mike D's level. So.
All right. Yeah. Wow, that's fighting words.
Have you taken the other sports teams on now, Brewers, Bucks, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I went to the playoff game this year down in Milwaukee. We watched the Toronto play the
Raptors
Bucks.
series?
Me, Kenny, and Brian Price went down there. He's now with the Cowboys, but that was cool seeing that team. They're just a young, talented team down there with the Bucks, and very cool place to play as well.
Giannis going crazy. Hope he does again tonight as they host the Charlotte Hornets. Dean Lowry is our guest. We're going to take another break. When we come back, more on getting this team pointed back upwards after a couple of rough weeks in Minneapolis and at Lambeau. Don't go away. The fifth quarter returns live from the Stadium View right after this timeout. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're live from the View on another tough night in the fifth quarter. But Dean Lowry is getting us laughing here tonight. We've had our hot play winner. Time for our cold play of the day. Again, you'll get a prize tonight, and you'll get qualified for a grand prize at the end of the season. All right, looking for a cold play, Z.
Beth is up. What's your guess?
Beth up first again.
Not scoring on the two turnovers.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
Not cashing in on those?
Yeah, they were both backed up, though. I mean, Demarius was in the end zone, and Devon was at the 6, right? After a hell of an athletic catch there by
Just
Devon.
tell her, Mark, she's impatient. She's so nervous.
You know what? That game, to me, was just so weird with the play. 3rd and 1 twice after those interceptions, and they couldn't convert. Yeah, Beth, you're our winner.
Let's do it.
Yes. You know what? The cold plays, there were so many in that day. It started chilling last Tuesday, actually, when Mike McCarthy's game plan was put to bed. On a bed of ice, it seemed, because the challenge of getting Brett Hundley ready for his NFL starting debut fell a little bit short.
Well, it was a challenge that I didn't meet today, so he didn't get comfortable in the pocket, and that's my responsibility. So did a poor job coaching.
Poor job coaching. Mike fell on the sword yesterday, and he laid down it again today, and I think you appreciate that. He's never going to blame guys, Dean, and the media for mistakes or things that didn't go right. He'll just step up and take the bullets. That's what a coach has got to do.
Yeah, I think, as a player, you want to see your coach, have your back. But I think on our side of the spectrum, I think we didn't do enough. I think there were too many penalties yesterday, especially in the second half. Too many just mental breakdowns, and that's in the players and preparation. And that was a team we hadn't played in a few years, so I think we should have had a better sense of what we were going to expect and what to do. But I think as a whole, I think players didn't execute as well as we should have.
Well, you got 2 weeks now. Lions, Bears, and Ravens. Oh, my. Right? And the next 3, 2 of those 3 at home. You're still 4-3. No one's running away and hiding in the NFC or in the NFL for that matter so far. So let's get Brett all the support he needs. Let's do our jobs a little better. Let's come back, especially at home, to get that Lambeau advantage back. And I think you guys will get some wind in the sails pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean, right now the NFC North is wide open. I think anytime you look at the injuries that each team is facing and just a lot of games left, we have 9 games left, so I think there's a lot of ball to be played left, and I think having 2 division rivals the next 3 weeks will be huge for us to get W's and get back on track.
I think so.
Dean, what is your first football memory?
Ooh, man, that goes way back for me. I would say for me it's my first time putting on pads. Honestly, I think I was 8 years old. It was my first time playing football, and just the first time having teammates and going out there. And I was a center back then, so that was a bit different. I was a center and a DN, but your first time just going out there in pads, and you're always watching the games growing up, the NFL games, and the college games, and to finally go out there and be part of a football team was pretty cool.
Is the biggest kid always the center?
The fattest kid, yeah. The fattest kid. So, I was pretty
that's
chubby.
When you're putting on the bad weight, yes.
Were you still eating 6,000 calories a day as a kid?
More so in like pizza and cookies,
right,
not so much in chicken breast. And
who was your favorite athlete growing up?
Any sport or just
any sport, yeah.
Any sport, man. I'll say basketball for a while. It was Kirk Heinrich of the Bulls.
Kurt Heinrich.
Back.
Wow.
I would say it was probably Urlacher of the Bears, like Devin Hester as well. Baseball, Mark Burley, Paul Konerko, just random guys out there.
All right.
So Halloween coming up. What was your favorite costume as a kid?
Let me think back. It was I think I had one when I was like 10 when I was Batman. That was pretty special for me to be
right.
Batman. So
Batman, nice.
guy.
So
were you the Adam West Batman, or were you the more Clooney?
More Clooney,
Kilmer?
I would say. More Clooney.
More Clooney, sure. Yeah, more Clooney. That's what the girls said at school, right?
Exactly.
Oh, look, it's the Clooney Batman. There he is.
That. There we go.
So touchdown celebrations this year are getting a lot more creative. Steelers yesterday did a hide-and-go-seek touchdown celebration, which was pretty funny. If you score an NFL touchdown, what would your celebration be?
I'm not sure yet. It'll probably be spontaneous as of right now, but I think as our D-line gets more into this whole wrestling thing, I think we'll probably have some sort of wrestling celebration. So
is that something you guys have talked about?
Yeah, we have actually. So stay tuned for us.
Nice,
so.
nice. Well, Jordy, Randall, and Devontae came out with the bobsled
That was cool.
thing.
I like that. Yeah, that was
Have
cool.
you seen the T-shirts?
Yep.
Of the bobsled thing? I like that. So yeah, kind of a tag team wrestling motif might be kind of interesting. Well, hurry up. Well, hey, if the Saints got 3 defensive touchdowns against Stafford, there's one in store for you guys.
I think so.
I would think so. So I think on a Monday night
at Lambeau,
perfect
too,
time to break
yeah.
it out at Lambeau Field.
When you were at Northwestern, Dean, who was the team you disliked the most in the Big Ten?
Don't say Wisconsin, please.
I would say Illinois, just because that was our in-state rival, and for a lot of us, that was kind of like the school that we could have went to or wanted to go to, and we knew a lot of guys in that team, so I would say Illinois, and it was always a good game against them too. Usually it was at Soldier Field as well, so that was kind of our in-state rivalry.
Your grades were too good to get into Illinois?
No, not by any means. I liked Coach Fitz at Northwestern, and then just the guys, and just it was a good fit for me.
I admire the Northwestern football program a lot because it can't be easy.
No, that's true. I mean, they beat Iowa this Saturday too, so that was a good win for us. Yeah, but it's tough to get guys. I mean, a lot of times the guys that they get usually are really good students, but about half the guys they want to get, they can't get because of the GPA and stuff like that. So it's always a challenge to recruit at schools like that, just because a lot of kids can't qualify
What's the
for that.
ACT minimum for Northwestern?
For athletes.
Well, all right. Yeah.
What? It's different than for the rest of the guys?
We're not talking Brett Fullwood's Wonderlic score here.
Ouch.
I think it was 6. Ouch.
I mean, I don't know. Like ACT, that can vary, but usually GPA, you got to be at least like top half your class and like at least like a 3.2, which isn't too hard. But I mean, a lot of guys still
too hard.
A
but
lot of guys still
again,
get that.
Yeah, I understand. But yeah, no, I really like what Northwestern's done, and it did wonders for you.
It did, yeah. I think even just like off the field as well, just professionally, and I think just preparing and just character. I think it was huge for me.
You first caught my attention. I think you just destroyed the Badgers.
Yeah, that was a fun. That was my senior year.
Yeah,
we
your
played,
senior game. Yeah.
Up in Camp Randall, a snow game. I was getting pelted by snowballs the whole time from the student section. Actually, yeah. That was
baby.
That was a pretty crazy game for us, but that was a defensive battle. I think we won. I think like 17-14, and very close game. But that was cool going up there and get that W.
All right. Couple of minutes left. Z, anything left?
No, we got to hit one more break.
All right. We got to get one more break. All right, Dean. I asked a couple of guys this today. All right, because we're going to get the coaches going through self-scouts now for the first 7 games and try and find ways to tweak, improve, everything else. If I could ask you to self-scout the defense, where would you start? What would you do?
I think it first starts with internally not pointing fingers. I think it's easy to say, oh, well, these guys got to pick it up, but I think everyone can improve, and I think defensively we have the talent is there, the coaching is there, the game plan is there. I think it's just doing it just one step better, and I think we can't, like I said, point fingers and just not look at our own room. And so I think for us, just looking at our D-line and improving that way, if everyone does that, I think we'll be a lot better defense going forward.
Still, it's going to be without 12. And it's just he's the best player in the NFL, in my opinion, right now, or was up until the collarbone crack.
That's true, but I do think Brett Hundley has a lot of talent, though. I think watching him throughout OTAs and training camp, I mean, he has a ton of talent. So I think after a few games, after Sunday, I think he's going to be more comfortable, more confident, and really take off. And that's my opinion. I believe that.
All right, so look in the mirror, rally around number 7.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly. You said it.
All right, Dean, don't want you to be late to get into the ring tonight.
The accountant.
All right, the accountant. All right, for the belt tonight. Thanks for coming over. I really appreciate it. Enjoy the bye week. Have fun in Rockford, and best of luck the rest of the way. We're going to take that last time out. When we come back, we're going to send somebody to the Packer Pro Shop. Guests of the fifth quarter receive gift certificates from Diamonds and Gold, one of the fine jewelers in Green Bay. Catch them over on Central Drive in Alloway. Back with more right after this. All right, that was fun with the accountant, Dean Lowry. Good kid. Really like him a lot. Couple of quick things. It was great to see Bart at Lambeau yesterday. Bart and Cherry,
Yeah.
as you know, if you've seen the promos on Cover 2, I was his paper boy as a kid, and I grew up with Bart Jr., and we goofed around a little bit, so I was over at his house. Really enjoyed it. Great donations to the Packer Hall of Fame today, and unfortunately, Cherry says, this is going to be our last visit to Green Bay, so Godspeed, Bart Starr.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see him. Not only him, but all of the guys from Super Bowl I had a chance to interview Zeke Bratkowski yesterday as well. A lot of fun with that, so hope those guys hang around and stay together for a long time. All right, before we go, a reminder, bye week. We will have a show next Monday night.
Right.
So come on back for that. Text fifth quarter to 79489, and you're going to jump right onto the fifth quarter show page. Get all kinds of podcasts, great content, and more. And when the pack's away, you get to play over at the Packers Pro Shop from our friends at Robinson's Heating and Cooling. Who's going shopping?
Scott Verbonkauer.
Scott Verbonkauer, right down in the rear. Scotty, you are a winner. I want to thank you guys for coming on out tonight. You wrestling fans as well. There's Scotty.
There it is. Congrats, man.
Nice job, buddy. Good to see you. All right, Z. What are you going to do in the bye week?
Go to Rockford, Illinois.
No, are you?
I'm going to go to Rockford with Dean and just hang out.
I'm going to get reacquainted with my wife this week.
See what it's like to hang out with Dean Clooney, the accountant.
Yeah, that would be funny. All right, so you'll see you next Monday night, folks. Have a great week, everybody. So long.